Level 1. Negative balance. You wake up expecting an ordinary morning. You unlock your phone expecting an ordinary balance. Instead, a tiny minus sign quietly changes the way your entire morning feels. You stare at the screen for another second, hoping the number will somehow change, but it doesn't. The balance stays negative. Then you blink, hoping the number will disappear, but it doesn't. The bank doesn't care that it was only $4. The bank doesn't care that it was only $4. The bank only cares about the math, and the math says you went below zero. Then the fee hits. $35 for being just $4 short. The penalty is bigger than the mistake itself. Before you can even react, another payment goes through. A forgotten $7 subscription quietly pushes your account even deeper into the red. Now, the math becomes cruel. A $4 mistake has turned into $77. Not because you spent it, but because the system kept adding penalties. You pull out your phone, hoping there's been some mistake, but the numbers don't change. Every fee has already been processed. You immediately call your bank, hoping someone can reverse the charges. It feels like there must be some mistake, but the system has already made its decision. The call connects, but nobody answers. The hold music keeps repeating while you wait, hoping someone will finally pick up. Finally, someone answers. But instead of solving your problem, they simply read the policy exactly as it appears on their screen. You ask to speak with a manager. The representative politely tells you someone will call back within 48 hours. Deep down, you already know that call probably isn't coming 48 hours past. The promised callback never comes. You check your phone again and again, but the silence says everything. The next morning, your rent payment fails. Before you can fix one problem, another one appears. The financial pressure keeps growing. Your phone bill bounces and adds another $25. The math you couldn't fix at $4 is now nearly $200 deep. The math you couldn't fix at $4 is now nearly $200 deep, growing in directions you never expected. You skip lunch on Wednesday, not by choice. You walk past the place you usually eat and keep walking like you weren't going there anyway. Your coworker invites you to grab food after work. You say you already ate. You didn't. Hunger at this level isn't physical. It's silent. It's the kind nobody sees because you've learned to perform full. You walk into the branch on Friday. The teller looks at her screen and her face changes in a way you've seen before. Not anger, not pity, something colder. You watch yourself stop being a person on her screen and start being a flag, a category, a risk score with shoes. 20 hours of overtime just to keep $200 alive for 1 week. You did it. Nobody clapped. Nobody noticed. The bank notices, but not in a good way. The maintenance fee hits anyway. The minimum balance to avoid it is $1,500. You don't have $1,500, so the fee stays. You are paying the bank to hold the money you barely have. You log in and watch it disappear overnight. No warning, no notification. The system doesn't explain. It simply executes. You apply for a credit card. They offer you a secured credit card. You have to give them $300 of your own money so they can lend it back to you. You read the offer twice. They want collateral from you to lend you your own money back. You don't take it, which means when your tire blows on a Tuesday morning, you can't put it on plastic. You ride the bus to work 3 hours late. Your manager doesn't fire you. He just looks at you a little longer than usual. You walk into the branch to ask about the fee. The teller is helping the customer in front of you, smiling, asking about their kids. When you step up, the smile changes. It becomes professional, trained. The energy in the room shifts, and you feel yourself become a different category of person without anyone saying a word. She processes your request in 40 seconds. She doesn't ask if there's anything else. She doesn't tell you to have a nice day. The next person walks up and the smile returns. You walk to the door and feel something you've never been able to name. You weren't refused. You weren't insulted. You were just moved through like luggage on a belt. The bank doesn't see you at $200. The bank doesn't see you at all. You exist on their books. You don't exist in their attention. Level 3, $2,000. Something shifted. Not in your account, in the way the bank looks at you. Your direct deposit hits every 2 weeks. $1,600 after taxes. Consistent, predictable. The pattern you've held for 6 months is the only thing about you that interests the system. The maintenance fee disappears. Not because you asked. The system saw your direct deposit and waived it automatically. The first time it happens, you check 3 times to make sure. The same fee that drained your account for years just stopped existing. Nothing changed except your behavior matched a profile that earns the bank money so they let you keep yours. The credit card offers start arriving. Real ones this time, not secured. Actual cards with $2,000 limits and 22% interest. The same institution that wouldn't approve you 8 months ago. The same system that ignored you at $200 just said yes to you at $2,000. You didn't change? The number did. You walk into the branch and the teller says, "Good morning," before you even reach the counter. Not the smile she gives the wealthy customer, but not the silence she gave you at $200 either. Something in between. Recognition without warmth. Service without effort. The middle ground where most Americans live. You apply for a small loan, $5,000 for car repairs, approved in 48 hours. The rate is 11%. Not great, not terrible. The process worked the way the commercials always promised it would. You realize something nobody tells you. The bank doesn't care who you are. The bank cares what your account looks like. And at $2,000, your account looks like something they can sell things to. You're not invisible anymore. You're not respected either. You're profitable. Level 4, $15,000. You log into the app and notice the credit limit changed. $4,000 became $9,500. You didn't ask. The next morning you get a call. Not automated. A person. Your bank assigned you a relationship banker. He says his name twice and gives you a direct line. He asks about your goals, your timeline, your savings. He wants to schedule a 15-minute review. The same institution that put you on hold for 40 minutes at $200. The interest rate on your next loan drops. You buy a used car and the dealer pulls your credit. The rate that would have been 11% at $2,000 is now 6.8% at $15,000. The price of money got cheaper, not because you negotiated, because you stopped being a risk. A fee shows up on your statement, $32. You email your banker. 3 hours later, it's reversed. No form, no phone tree, no script, just a reply that says, taken care of. The same fees that drained your account for years are now optional. The system didn't change. Your tier did. You start getting emails with your name spelled right, subject lines that include your first name, small touches, personalization. The bank is courting you now, not aggressively, subtly. The way someone treats a person they don't want to lose. You realize something hidden from you at every level below this one. The bank wasn't mean to you when you were broke. The bank was just indifferent, and indifference at scale looks exactly like cruelty. You're not invested in, you're invested for. Level 5, $80,000. The bank calls you a preferred client now. The words appear on your statement, your app, and even your emails. Your relationship banker becomes a real person now. A man named David who knows you have a sister in Chicago because you mentioned it once 9 months ago. He doesn't ask about your checking account anymore. He asks whether you've considered buying a vacation home because he knows you can. He emails on your birthday. Not automated, written. The detail isn't an accident. It's training. You're not the product anymore. You're the customer they compete to keep. $1 million. The branch manager walks out of his office before you even check in. He already knows your name. He offers you coffee before talking about money, because at this level, the relationship comes first. Nobody says the words net worth. Nobody says millionaire. They don't have to. The room already knows. The manager asks about your children before asking about your portfolio. He remembers your last vacation. He remembers the renovation on your house. The money changed the conversation. It didn't change you. It changed how the institution valued your time. The money wasn't the finish line. It was the password. Every balance unlocked a different version of the same bank. The account didn't make you more important. It changed how important you became to the bank. Most people spend their lives believing banks treat everyone equally. They don't. They treat everyone according to perceived value. The game was never hidden. It was simply invisible until you reached the level where the rules became obvious. Money doesn't buy respect. It changes the incentives of the people serving you, and incentives change everything. That's why the richest people rarely talk about interest rates. They negotiate relationships. Relationships negotiate everything else. The bank never became generous, it became interested. And there's a very expensive difference between those two words. The next time you walk into a bank, watch carefully. Notice who gets greeted by name. Notice who never waits. Notice who gets invited into the private office. The signs aren't hidden. They're happening in plain sight. Most people just don't know what they're looking at, because once you understand the game, you stop asking why wealthy people get treated differently. You start understanding why institutions behave the way they do. And once you see those patterns, you start making financial decisions that change how the system responds to you. Because wealth isn't just about how much money you have, it's about how every institution around you begins responding differently to the choices you've made. The lesson isn't to impress the bank. The lesson is to build a financial life so strong that better opportunities naturally begin finding you. The real flex isn't having millions in the bank. It's having systems, habits, and relationships that continue creating wealth long after the first million. The first million changes your bank account. The habits that built it change the rest of your life. If this changed the way you think about money, then you've already taken the first step, because understanding the system always comes before mastering it. The people who build lasting wealth don't chase shortcuts. They build habits that quietly compound year after year. Financial freedom isn't built in a single breakthrough. It's built through thousands of ordinary decisions repeated with extraordinary consistency. The biggest return on investment wasn't the money. It was becoming the kind of person who could build wealth again and again, no matter where they started. The bank was never the real lesson. You were. And if you can change your habits, you can change your future. Thanks for watching. If this documentary gave you a new perspective on money, remember this: your next financial decision could be the one that changes everything. We'll see you in the next lesson. Knowledge means nothing until it becomes action. The smallest financial habit you begin today can completely change where you stand years from now. Remember, your financial future won't be decided by one perfect choice. It will be shaped by the small choices you make every single day. This isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of yours. Make today's decision count. The next chapter of your financial life won't be written by luck. It'll be written by the habits you choose to build starting today. Financial freedom isn't a destination you magically arrive at. It's a lifestyle you build one disciplined day at a time. The world rewards people who keep showing up, keep learning, keep improving, and let time become your greatest investment partner. 1 year from now, you'll wish you had started today. So take the first step now and let every small decision build the life you deserve. Remember, the most powerful investment you'll ever make isn't in the market. It's in becoming the person who never stops growing. This chapter may be ending, but your financial journey is just beginning. Stay curious, stay disciplined, and never stop investing in yourself. We'll see you in the next documentary.